Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roisum. In this video clip, we discuss a couple of very special grooving patterns that are used for an uncommon but quite troublesome winding problem. It is essential to carefully define the specific problem that you are trying to solve, rather than apply a generic treatment that may do nothing or even make problems worse. The specific problem we consider here is a bubble behind a winding nip. From our Web 101 classes, we know under what conditions air is entrained into the roll, and how much air is entrained into the roll, and how the entrained air will loosen the wind on the roll, and how the air can cause issues such as air buckles on film. However, loose rolls or buckles are not what we are interested in here. Here, we look specifically at a bubble that may accumulate behind the nip and then burp through the nip as a wrinkle or other problem. While this problem is rare, it is not new. However, it is getting more troublesome as machine speeds increase and as web thickness decrease, as would be anticipated by the physics. Until recently, there was no known pleasant solution. Yes, one can play with the layon nip loads. However, if you increase the nip to keep more air out of the winding roll, you trap more air behind the nip and vice versa. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Of course, you can lift the layon roll to vent the bubble, but then you may not be able to get the nip back on again. Finally, for a really brutish treatment, you could stop the winder and pop the bubble and flag the scrap. Solutions were found to this specific defect simultaneously in both the paper and the film industries. In film, the grooving treatment looks like the rifle barrel grooving. While this would vent air out in large paper winders, the shallow angle of the groove could be extremely noisy, so paper people use what is called a wide shallow groove that has a pitch of a few inches instead of the width of the roller that converting has. In either case, the principle is the same. Note that getting the best size for the groove is necessarily a bit of trial and error. This can be done with a thick scrim-reinforced tape such as the duct tape brand. Once a good geometry is found, the grooves can be cut permanently into the roller. The principle of the burping or wide shallow grooving is simple in concept. Underneath the groove there is no nip, so that the air can vent by. As the roller rotates, the venting relief transits the entire width of the machine. Thank you so very much for watching this module in my Plant Practical series. If you want to learn more about the principles and details of rollers, winding, or any other web handling topic, please consider signing up for my very popular Web Handling and Converting seminar.